How much of that is buy volume? How much of that is negative on their books? This is just information we don't have. We never will. There's no point in speculating on it. Here's what we do now. The price is higher. The volume is lower. But the scope of the short position is broader. So what does that tell us? Well, one, it tells us it costs more to internalize, but they're internalizing less. However, they're internalizing volume from far more positions than just GameStop. So where does that leave us? Kind of with nothing. We just don't know because we don't have exact figures on any of that. That's not data that's shit even available to other hedge funds. What's going on with your covered calls? Are you using margin? Did you sell a naked call instead of a covered call? Did you just sell a call or did you sell a covered call? Because those warnings sound like the warnings of a naked call on a margin account. So were they not heavily shorting GME through ETFs last year? Not to the same extent, no. They were just heavily shorting GME. Actually, they heavily shorted GME all the way through June when the share offering occurred and the ETF rebalance occurred. At that point, after they satisfied the open FTDs they had, there was not enough liquidity in GameStop to continue maintaining a short position on GameStop, and so they began shorting GameStop through ETFs. The amount of weighting of GME and ETFs, however, at that time was reduced, requiring them to use or to fail on far more of the creation process than they had previously. And that's why we see a larger spike in ETF FTDs now versus back then. Did you see the New York Post op-ed calling dry January selfish and evil to bars? No. Why would I read the New York Post? It's trash. A newspaper that mirrors your political ideologies is probably a bad place to get information, right? Then you're just confirming your bias, which means you might as well jerk off on it because it's not teaching you anything. Most newspapers are trash nowadays because journalism has no integrity. Do you think Microsoft buying Activision is bearish for GameStop? If GameStop is attempting to become its own publishing house, yes, because a bunch of IP is going to consolidate in a different publishing house. It's not good for us. If that's not their goal, then it doesn't fucking matter. But it could be. We don't know because they haven't told us. They're all objectively biased because they all push a specific agenda. You have to be able to disseminate information on your own and weigh that against the bias of the source you're reading from. Does that give you accurate information? Not necessarily, but it'll be more accurate. What's up, Kyle? Good comment, dude. Why do people keep saying 98 is the low? I don't know. I mean, we've bounced off the technical bottom twice in the last 2 days. So probably. Most of the puts expire Friday. I think everyone just wants to buy the stock at 98. So that means it'll probably never happen. I think trade spotting was just pointing out a possible downtrend support like horizontal. I don't think he was saying the stock's going to 98. This is where people get confused and think TA is bullshit. because they look at something like that and they're like, oh, he's saying it's going to 98, but really he's just pointing out where it could go. TA is not a fucking crystal ball. Far from it. It's just a way of visualizing complex data quickly. Since so many people are convinced that crime will stop MOASS, can we buy calls on the DOJ? I guess you could invest in Citadel. That would be the hedge against MOASS, right? How do you think BBIG could squeeze? Like $6.50? Maybe 11, but it has to hit 650 first. Why is gap filling a thing? Mark-to-market orders, and like if they're internalizing trades, they want to fill trades at specific price points that they missed. And so the market maker will tend to drive prices towards gaps where they can get rid of where they kind of like dump that like that excess order flow. Any chance we'll do a collab with Earthbound Thunder Pacifist? I don't know who that is. Is Citadel long the SPY? I think they're just short everything. TA is manipulated. It's not being manipulated. You are just seeing manipulation because you're paying attention to it. They're not like, oh, okay, we're going to make a wedge. Like, that's not going on in a hedge fund right now. They're not like, okay, let's consolidate price movement in this range, and then when the breakout occurs, we'll short it. No. It's just a breakout goes to occur, and then conditional orders come in and short the stock. They're not like drawing on the fucking chart with algorithms. Oh, Jesus. I can't. No. Also, thank you for the hot compliment. It's like that fucking Sling Blade guy who was on that other YouTube. It's like I can see the algorithm. Look, see the price jumped to the next ask after the first ask was filled. That's the algorithm. Jesus Christ. What have I gotten myself into? Vegan teacher. That probably wouldn't go well. The big December FTD spike need to be covered on Feb 3rd. Why Feb 3rd? Where did you pull that date from? Meditation. Were you meditating and it told you Feb 3rd? It's wrong. How's my existential crisis going?